San Francisco, home to the Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, and some rather big hills. And just a 1 hour drive south, GTN are off to meet Zwift to find out about a rather exciting project. I'm sure most of you are well acquainted with Zwift already, or at least you've heard of it. But for those that haven't, it was once a small startup cycling gaming company. It's since taken the indoor training world by storm. It's got a huge online community where athletes can train together on a range of routes. GTN have been invited to meet the winning contestants of the new specialised Zwift Triathlon Academy. They're going to be put through their paces and guided by someone who knows a little bit about triathlon, Dunn. This was a 3-day training camp and the first time the winners had ever gotten together. With the help of Specialised, these age groupers would be getting new kit, new bikes, and even wind tunnel tested in preparation for them all attempting to qualify for the Ironman World Champs in Kona 2018. I was really interested to find out how they got on and find out a little bit more about them and their stories.
My name is Rachel Norfleet and I am from Kansas City. So I just graduated from college about a month and a half ago. So day to day, just kind of job searching right now and figuring out my next steps. But a lot of training right now. We've got Kona in about 15 weeks. So a lot of that at the moment. I started triathlon about 4.5 years ago. I'm a mom that I was babysitting for, actually. She would go out on these like 5-hour bike rides and I thought that she was crazy. And I had just stopped swimming in college and she could tell that I kind of was at this like loss of identity, not having my sport. So she eventually kind of like looped me into doing triathlon with her. So I've been doing it ever since.
I think I'd come back in from doing my longest brick session to date, and I just looked at my phone and I had an email from kind of Zwift and I was like, what's this? And it said like Zwift Academy is the headline, and yeah, I read it and my mouth just dropped open and I was like, oh my word. My name's Bex and Rachael and I'm from a small town in Lancashire called Padiham. So I had a brief spell in triathlon back in 2005. And then I got talent spotted for cycling. So I've been cycling for the last 10 years and then had a little bit of a crash last year. So yeah, decided in October, I promised myself I would always do an Ironman. So yeah, here I am signed up for Ironman Bolton in a couple of weeks. I was doing a stage race in the Czech Republic and apparently someone hit a pothole. I was the second line to go down, ended up with like 20 people on top of me. Tried to push myself up and I went, no, that's not good. And turns out I'd broken right wrist and then broken my left ankle. So I was in plaster for 12 weeks and it kind of got to the end of September. I was still in plaster and I was like, am I going to be able to race in the bunch next year? And I thought long and hard about it and I thought probably not. And I knew kind of to get better and to get stronger, I had to do some cross training. So I started doing some running, rehab my ankle, started swimming to rehab my wrist. And I was like, well, I'm already riding a bike, so let's kind of go back to the beginning and fulfill that challenge of doing the Ironman. So here I am. I've never raced for this kind of duration before. So yeah, I'm thinking as long as I'm sensible and realistic and yeah, just kind of take one thing at a time, then yeah, hopefully it'll be okay. But yeah, it's quite daunting racing for that length of time, but hopefully I'll be okay.
So Here we are, out in California to follow these budding age groupers as they chase down the dream of competing at Kona. We've met the female athletes and we will shortly be meeting the male competitors. But firstly, let me explain a little about what will happen in the next few days. Because this road to Kona is not your ordinary setup. Firstly, each member is given their kit. A bike, a helmet, shoes, wetsuit, you name it. In fact, so much that some members had trouble flying it home. Whoops. Next, they're set up with retool, with experts on hand from Specialized to hone in their bike positions before getting to test them out in the wind tunnel. Yeah, the full pro treatment. After that, they all go out on a ride to test out their new positions, and I'll go too, you know, just to test them. So just how far can you help and push a bunch of very good age groupers? Even with this help, they still have other commitments, families and jobs to contend with. As we all know, the balancing of these things is hard work. And with that, it's time to meet the first of our male competitors.
My name is Geert Janssens, it's a typical Belgian name, and I'm from Belgium. I'm from Leuven, it's next to Brussels. In Belgium I work as a police officer, so the combination of working and training can be quite hard. I started triathlon when I was 8 years, I think. I did my first Iron kit when I was 8, and it was my father who brought me into the sport. 2 weeks ago I became proud father of my daughter Pippa. It is a little bit difficult to combine the work, the training and the task of being a father. But my wife is very supportive, and we have made some arrangements, as I can say, until my next big goal, Ironman Hamburg, and then until Kona. So it's a bit difficult to combine, but it is possible.
Geert, along with Rachel, knows firsthand just how difficult it can be to make it to Kona and what sacrifices need to be made to make it. This is in fact Geert's second year in a row training for the Ironman World Champs.
Yeah, so last year I was in Kona, I had a very, very good swim. Got out of the water and started to feel great on the bike from the beginning. And then the downhill from after Hawi was very fast, and I was trying to eat and drink. And then suddenly there was a crosswind and my front wheel turned and I was going very fast, about 60, 70 kilometers an hour, and I crashed. And while falling down, I immediately realized the race was over. If there's one race I would really like to finish, it's definitely Kona.
It was 5 o'clock because we have like this time gap, and I was just getting up and then just received the email, and I was just screaming, and I think I waked the whole house and just made a little party there. It was just awesome, really. Hi, my name is Kula Burton. I'm 30 years old and I'm coming from Hamburg in Germany. I'm a physician. I finished my medical studies last year and I coach some athletes. I'm coming from a cycling background and I borrowed my bike from my dad and I crashed on the very first round, but I managed to finish the race and it was an awesome feeling. I really have to pinch myself to be a part of this incredible journey and team, and to have the chance to compete with these great athletes, and to have people like Dunn who are just coaching you. It's just an incredible experiences and chance for me. I would say my end goal in triathlon is to maybe won the age group title in Kona someday. Yeah, but also to have fun with other athletes and to just share your experiences.
The finale for this project, Zwift hope, is to have all the athletes competing at Kona for their age group. For Bex and Rachael, who have already qualified, this reality is getting ever closer, and both potentially have a chance of topping their age groups. For Geert and Golo, however, the chance of winning is slightly less.
The competition between me and Golo, actually it's kind of funny because we're in the same age group. But yeah, Golo is a very nice guy, but I won't let him win. That's for sure. I will give it my all, but I expect him to do the same thing. So it's kind of friendly, but it's a competition in the team. But I'm happy that normally he wanted to do Ironman Hamburg as well. So to try to qualify, being in the same project now would be kind of sad, because when one of the two wouldn't qualify because of the other, that's kind of sad, because I think we both want to go and we like to go. We want also the other to go to Kona, but once in Kona, we will try to be the best. That's part of the sport as well.
This, clearly for the athletes, is quite a big deal. They've been given every chance by Zwift and Specialized to help them achieve their goals. And to have the likes of Dunn on board sharing his experiences is priceless. Someone who's had some incredible career highlights, but has also had some huge knockbacks. Not forgetting his big crash ahead of the 2017 Ironman World Champs that left him severely injured for several months.
My name's Dunn. I am a professional triathlete for the last 21 years. Yeah, it was the Wednesday before Kona. I was riding out easy past the airport in the cycle lane, and a car coming towards me turned in front of me, and he either, I don't know, I haven't heard or spoke to him. He either didn't see me, didn't appreciate how slow or fast I was going. I remember remembering it was a white pickup truck with a logo on the door. I remember locking my back wheel, going, no, those are my new tyres. And the next thing I remember, I was being lifted from the road into an ambulance. I was like, oh, bugger, this is not good. And then, yeah, the doctor came in and said, yeah, I'd broken my neck. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm racing. And yeah, they gave me 3 options. And unfortunately, the one that they highly recommended was called a halo. And yeah, that was my life for the next 3 months, basically. Zwift to me, it just enabled me to do what I love, and that was train. And don't get me wrong, I literally was riding at 90 watts for literally, I think the first ride was 80 watts at 5 minutes, but it gave me purpose, I think. You know, from being on such a high, from breaking the world record, getting 3rd at the World 70.3s, to physically and mentally being in such a great place. You know, I believed I could fight for a podium. And then to go from there to such a low, and then with the halo on, I couldn't do anything, and I didn't want to go in the basement and ride my trainer, you know, and I on my own. And you know, as I said, Fraser suggested Zwift, so yeah, I hooked it up, and yeah, it just, you know, it made it interesting, it made it fun, and as I got fitter or able to do more, it gave me metrics, and I love the data, I love the numbers, and yeah, it's. I always say, you know, lots of people old school would never. I said, you got to try it. That's all I recommend. Try it, make your own decision up. That's all I can recommend to everyone.
I've always wanted to do Ironman, so yeah, that's always kind of been a dream of mine. I think I just want to see where this journey can go, just enjoy it, and yeah, see what happens. So yeah, I haven't got a plan or an ultimate aim, but yeah, I'm just going to enjoy it.
But what is fun for me about triathlon is just that there always is a goal. There's always something that you're chasing, and there's always something that you can do better, and there are so many factors that play into it, and I think that's really fun.
Well, I guess that's our time in California done, and it's been an amazing few days meeting the team and just seeing their commitment and dedication and also the professionalism of the team. How's it been, guys?
Great.
Good.
Super.
Awesome. Well, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, and if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, click on the globe just here. If you'd like to find out how to pick an indoor trainer, just click down here, and what to wear when you're training indoors, just click down here. Woo!